Hi everybody, welcome to New to Magic. My name's Dan. This video is a kind of look at a deck that I created during a draft at a mate's house that I do every week, and this particular one I won, so it was worth kind of having a look at the deck and seeing why it was effective. It was really good fun to play. It was like a 3-colour deck, which is something I'm not used to doing. A lot of stuff in it was something I wasn't used to doing, so it was nice to try something different, and it actually worked out for me, which is one of the best things about drafting. If you're into Magic or you're trying to get into Magic, drafting is a really good way to learn fast. It's fun, it's the best way to open boosters, and you get to understand the game. You may lose a few times, but actually the learning process of it is important to new players in getting them to learn about the mechanics of the game. So I highly recommend drafting if you can, even if it's on Magic Online. If you can't do it with friends physically, it's definitely worth giving a go. So yeah, here's a deck I created drafting just a couple of weeks ago. Enjoy. So this is the deck that I ended up with. As you can see, it's got blue, a lot of blue, red and black, just splashing a little for black to play a couple of cards. I've got one in my sideboard over here, and there is a card missing I will explain in a bit. But right, let's just have a look through this, shall we? First we'll go to creatures and see what we have. So first up we've got an elusive Spellfist. Then we've got Meringue River Prowler, which is a really good card. It can't be blocked. It can't block, but it can't be blocked, which is fairly ideal. Then we've got 2 Palace Familiars, really good for drawing cards, and also just standard to have as cheap flyers when anyone presents early flyers in the early game. Then we've got 2 Zephyr Scribes. Again, card draw is the main point here, and I never did the other ability whenever you cast a non-creature spell and tap Zephyr Scribe. But yeah, really handy in drawing cards. Then we've got Updraft Elemental, which was a perfect defensive flyer. Really saved me on a number of occasions. And then you've got Hardened Berserker. When he attacks, the next spell you cast this turn costs 1 less. That came in handy a couple of times as well, and he's just a reasonable 3-drop. Then we go to Lotus Path Djinn, really good flying with prowess, so perfect when I'm playing multiple spells, triggering prowess a bit, really helped me out a lot. Then this is where the splashing kind of comes in. I drafted this and thought, well, maybe it'll end up in the deck, and actually it became quite a staple of play. Every time it came in, it caused a couple of problems for the opponent, but yeah, really good. Gomag Angler is brilliant, especially with the way this deck was working out, with all my draw spells that say discard a card and things like that. I was ending up, every time this came to my hand, I ended up getting him out, and he's a fantastic defender as well as a decent attacker. And then this was kind of the wild card. Pulled 2 Bell Toll Dragons, and they worked fairly well when they came in, so pretty decent. Not the best card in the world. I mean, it's not a general kind of thing that you would tend to see in a normal standard deck, but for these purposes served me just fine. Very expensive dragon at 6 mana and 7 mana to megamorph him, but handy to get those morphs down as well. The morphs kind of saved me a couple of times. Then we go to our sorceries and instants. This Self-Inflicted Wound was kind of a sideboard, so I flitted between this and another card, which I have currently on the sideboard. Target opponent sacrifices a green or white creature, so there was only the 3 people I was playing against. 2 of them were white and green decks, so this was ideal, but then the other didn't have any, so I had to sideboard in something else. And then we've got Encase in Ice, which was absolutely brilliant. I just waited for those big creatures to hit the battlefield and then encase them in ice. Again, this is specific to colour, so it's red or green. Thankfully, all 3 of the decks I was playing against had either red or green creatures in. Negate, standard, brilliant card. If you know your opponent is attacking and then you go into block and they try to pump up their creatures with an instant, you can just negate the thing.
Roast, it was one of my first picks actually. It's just really good removal. It deals 5 damage to target creature without flying. Perfect for who I was playing against. Helped me a couple of times. Fairly overkill in that department actually. And then we've got Ojutai's Breath, which was again very good. Tap target creature, it doesn't untap during its next untap step, and it has rebound. So that was really good. Helped me out a number of times. I'm saying this a lot about some of these cards. That's why they just seem to work really well together. Sarkhan's Triumph, I never actually used it. I kind of wonder why this was in here. It was mainly because I had the dragons. See if I could maybe get them out when I needed them, but turned out not to really work. So this was the only card of the deck where I was like, why did I bother? Dragon Rage actually helped me win a game. It was, or well, I dealt a lot of damage to someone. So you can add 1 red mana to your mana pool for each attacking creature you control until end of turn. Attacking creatures you control gain pay 1 red. This creature gets +1/+0 till the end of turn. So that was really good if I was just swinging all in and I had open mana. Play that, have a shitload of red mana to spend and just blast on through. It was fairly decent. Rakshas's Disdain helped me numerous occasions. I think I used it in every match. Just made sure that my opponent was tapped out or I had a ton of cards in my graveyard. And yeah, if they were casting a fairly big threat, I'd just go, no, you can't do that, thank you. Mystic Meditation, by far one of the better cards of the set for me because it was letting me draw when I was in a bit of a bind. Yeah, I had to just discard 2 cards unless I discarded a creature, but really handy and made sure I got through to the cards that I wanted to find. So those are all the spells and creatures, except for one. Well, except for 2 actually. I've got one in my sideboard. So my sideboard is right into being. Look at the top 2 cards of your library, manifest one of those cards, and put the other on the top or the bottom of your library. Pretty handy, again, in drawing 2 cards and seeing what's coming up and maybe going, nah, I don't like that, and then you manifest one of them. Problem is when both of those cards are ones that you need and then none of them are creatures and you have to manifest one, it's a bit of a ball ache. But yeah, I'd switch between that and the self-inflicted wound that I have over here in the games. The only card that is missing, which is going to appear on your screen now, is Mob Rule. Now, Mob Rule just was amazing in this. Absolutely brilliant. Cheap, rare, not usually used, but then when I was dealing against a lot of 3 power creatures or 4, a lot of 4 power creatures, in I think 2 instances, I just floored the game because I cast Mob Rule, took most of their creatures and swung in for way over lethal. So really good. Obviously I've got my lands as well. We've got a Swiftwater Cliffs, Dismal Backwater and an Evolving Wilds. I mean, I couldn't have really looked out better if I tried in terms of getting mana fixing. So I was never really shy on mana and the correct one. I think there was one game where I got a bit worried and I got taken down to 1. And then I played Swiftwater Cliffs, went up a life. He had 1/1/1 on the battlefield, and then I just came back from it because I found the mana I was looking for. I think it was the Dismal Backwater actually. I was looking for black, and then I just clawed it back. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 islands. We have 6 mountains and 2 swamps. So that's all my lands there. And again, like I said, worked out very well. I won the evening. And what we do, the reason I don't have Mob Rule is that we see what rares we want to keep, and the winner gets first pick of rares. And I first picked out of our draft tonight Dramoka Dragonlord, or Dragonlord Dramoka, is it? Yes, Dragonlord Dramoka. Kind of been after this. Dragonlord Dramoka can't be countered. Flying lifelink. Opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Really amazing card. So I was glad I got that. And then I also picked up one of the rares, the Necromaster Dragon, just because it helped me out. I didn't end up picking up Mob Rule, hence why it's not here. So yeah, that's the deck that I used for draft, and I won. Yay! So like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this. So yeah, thank you for watching. My name's Dan, you've been watching New to Magic. See you next time.